Hey, I'm gonna start our watch because it's 7 o'clock. It's nice to see everybody. And we're just talking about power meters. Does anybody have a power meter that is a one-sided one, and at the beginning it only read half their power? Anybody? Anybody for a prize? Nope. Okay. We'll ask Jeremy tomorrow. So tomorrow we have our resident tech nerdy dude who knows lots about bikes, Jeremy, coming back, and we can give him some questions. Lindsay submitted some questions, which were great. In fact, the questions you submitted will probably get us through the full hour. But if you do have others, let me know, like fire me an email or a text, and Jeremy's going to kind of get it set up so he can run us through stuff. One thing that I was curious about, if you were there on the last one, was just the different types of lubrication to use. I didn't even know that. So I spent like 20 years racing probably doing the wrong thing. And definitely not cleaning my chain and letting it sit before and then, putting the right chain lube on. I'm pretty sure that I messed that up. That was probably a few, like maybe higher places. Maybe I was supposed to be really good.
And you just used the wrong lube, so you never.
Yeah.
It was all the chain lube. Gosh.
Potential.
That's so frustrating. Dear.
I'll have to go back and watch that one.
What's that?
I'll have to go back and watch that about the chain.
Yeah, it was interesting, but tomorrow's will be better because he sort of just dabbled there on the last one. Tomorrow's is more specifically about bike maintenance, which I think will be really useful for people. So that's good. Andy, how are you?
I'm good, Jess. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, that's great. It's perfect.
Okay, awesome. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm good.
Awesome. And I'm not sure where Dan went, but he'll be back. And Joanne, how are you doing? Good. Lindsay? Good?
I'm great.
Awesome. Chris?
I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I'm good. I'm on the board for this figure skating club my daughter's part of. And so we had a meeting last night, and there is definitely some optimism in the air about when we're going to be skating again. I guess this phase 2 rollout for BC is coming pretty soon, maybe after the long weekend. And they think that we can maybe get back on ice. Figure skating may be one of the first things to go back because it's easy to distance. And when the senior kids are on there, there's only 5 or 6 of them on the ice anyway. So that was a little ray of hope. They train out of the university though, and all indications at the university are that, rec center facilities are just not happening for ages. In fact, they may not happen even through the fall. I guess the tuition payments for students for the fall don't even include the amount that you would include for the rec facilities, like how that's usually an add-on for. Yeah. So I don't even think they're including that, which is a sign that they're not going to have any of that open. So we might have to look for different ice. There's a guy on the board, thankfully, that is the facilities manager at another ice sheet in town. So hopefully we'll be there. Yeah. Anyway, that's my news. I bet you're excited to hear all that, eh?
Maybe because less hockey might be happening, so it might be easier to get ice time for skating.
Yeah, I think that's maybe part of it, but also it's whether it's worth the centers, like whether it's worth them actually operating an ice sheet. Like they would need enough. So we're trying to rally a couple different clubs to say like, hey, we'll take this 2-hour block, but here's 4 more clubs that want 2-hour blocks. So it's actually worth it for you to have this ice sheet going. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, the guy who's on the board, their facility doesn't take the ice out because it's cheaper for them to keep it in than take it out and put it back in. So their ice has been in the whole time. A lot of facilities have kind of done a big reno or maintenance if they, needed to. But this one in particular is just, they've had ice the whole time. So anyway, not to bore you with that stuff, but it is a little bit of hopefulness, for at least in our life to have some normal bit of it return would be nice.
The
So,
Good Life Marathon got canceled.
the Victoria Marathon? Yeah. I'm so shocked. I don't know if everybody got the email from Ironman about the new bike course. And then we put out an email saying, well, I guess if it's on, we'll have a camp. But I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen.
I didn't get that email, which is so. My friend was like, did you get the email about the bike course? I said no. And then I looked online, it's not posted online. I'm like, did I miss it?
Yeah. Unless they know something we don't. Like, that was sort of my take, was like, well, maybe they know that this is a possibility, but I don't know. I don't know.
It seems so unlikely.
Yeah, kind of as we move here, eh? And it's more the provincial guidelines than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if anyone comes from out of town, they have to quarantine for 14 days still.
Is that right? You do, eh? Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The borders are still closed. Like, I mean, that's still,
Yeah.
it's still whatever, 15 weeks away, but
Yeah.
no one can swim.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. And we keep trucking here, so.
I use the washing the dishes analogy or whatever it was the other day with my kids. So thanks for that.
The which analogy?
Washing the dishes.
Oh, awesome.
It didn't land very well with them. They're like, what are you talking about? I don't know if I set it up properly. Just wash the dishes, damn it.
That's pretty funny. They I don't know who was on for the Lindsay, not the Lindsay Glassford
Corbin.
talk. Lindsay Corbin talk. You should do a talk, Lindsay Glassford. Anyway, I don't know if you remember, she mentioned stoicism, that her and her husband were. So that got me kind of curious. I was like, well, I of course heard of like being stoic, but I don't think I'd ever heard of stoicism as like sort of a way, a way to live. And so I've been very curious since. So I've sort of been in touch with her, and I said, what reading have you been doing about that? And so I've got an audiobook queued up, and yeah, there's a whole kind of stoicism movement. It's basically just like being stoic, whatever happens, you just sort of like very unemotional, kind of just do your job. And it's kind of curious. Some of the stuff's pretty cool, actually. I think you would like it. It's like the book I'm going to read is called The Obstacle is the Way. And just the title's enough. I'm like, yeah, sure. That's a great way to look at life.
Jasper, I got a bunch of books for you to borrow then. I got a whole batch of them, maybe 6 months ago.
Are you a closet stoic?
No, I just ordered all these books on Amazon because it was I was gonna study it on our trip to Hawaii, because I had this big plan of going through all these books, and then I didn't even make it through one.
Oh wow, okay. All right, well that's great. I'd love to read them. Do you have The Obstacle is the Way? Apparently that's like the handbook, the guidebook. It's written by this 30-year-old guy it's all about Marcus Aurelius back in what would you call it? Is that ancient Greece? No. Rome. So I guess he was a very stoic leader. Whatever, if there were plagues or there were whatever, he just sort of held steady. Anyway, we'll see. Where are we at here? Oh, good. Perfect timing. So we're going to do a little activation. I'll share my screen here with you. In about 20 seconds, we'll give you a little bit longer because I need to get organized here. We're just going to do a little activation set. We'll give you a little bit longer here, about another minute. It's 20 seconds standing, 30 seconds seated at a higher RPM. I'm not going to specify what RPM, just wherever your body's comfortable. And then 40 seconds easy. So none of that's hard. It's all part of the warm-up, but it's just to get the body sweating a little bit more and make sure you're really ready for the main set here. Let's see. Oh. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll get rolling here in 10 seconds. So again, that's 20 seconds standing, 30 seconds seated at whatever RPM you can get to without going crazy, and then 40 seconds easy. Ready? And here we go. So again, you don't need to be full gas here. We're just keeping the body getting warm here. And take a seat. And spin the legs up a little bit quicker. You'll find as you roll through this, the body will naturally go a little bit higher. Oopsie. And nice and easy. The screen you're looking at is not actually the workout. I was looking at it going, what? That is not the workout I planned. This is the one we're doing. That looks better. All right, round 2 coming up here in 10 seconds. In 5. Ready, and here we go. And take a seat. Spin the legs up. At least to the same place you were on the first one. And nice and easy for 40 seconds. Good job, good job. We're gonna do 3 more of those. Let's get ready here in 20 seconds. Andy, how's the weather in Red Deer?
Sunny and cool. But at least it's sunny. Yesterday was kind of chilly, but the sun was out, so that's good.
Oh, good. All right, here we go. Standing up for 20. And take a seat, but let's keep the RPM up here. Ten more seconds. And nice and easy. Awesome.
Yeah, Jazz, I went for a run with my kid and his friend the other day.
Yeah?
We went and found some single track and then like a half-kilometer hill. And we did a bunch of hill repeats.
Cool.
And I just got schooled. But as my dad told me, he says, I know that feeling.
That's funny. Well, it's good you're back out running. That's the main
Yeah,
thing.
that was the first kind of
Okay, up we go.
trail run.
Keep talking. Yeah.
That was like the first trail run, so it's pretty tentative over the routes and stuff like that, but it was good to be out.
Yeah, I bet. That's amazing, dude. That's great. And take a seat, but RPM stays up here.
And then on the way back, I was behind the two of them, and I started plotting a little move I was going to make to see if I could pull them off. And I totally forgot about the one hill coming back.
Yeah.
So I burned by them both, just kind of giggling to myself. Went for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, nice and easy.
Made them really work.
Yeah.
And then we hit this real steep, like 200 yards, like real high incline.
Yeah.
And I was just done.
Ha!
I don't have the power to go up those sharp inclines.
Yeah. It'll come back though.
So then I got beat for the rest of the evening.
You got yeah. Oh yeah.
I got beat, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, 5 seconds. Last one here, and here we go. And take a seat, but spin the legs up. Keep going, keep going. And take a break. Good. So we've got our usual rest plus a bunch more here before we start the main set. So pretty simple main set today, and it's not a ton of work, but the higher end stuff is pretty solid. So we're just going to do basically 3-2-1, 3-2-1, and we're going to increase effort as we go. The 3-minute blocks are, let's say, 85% of your perceived effort, or these should be like right at your threshold or just a fraction higher. And your threshold, like your lactate threshold, your anaerobic threshold, if you know those numbers, or about 110% of your FTP. Okay, if you know that number. And then we're going to have 3 minutes rest and then 2 and 2, but we increase the effort just a little bit. So if you know your FTP, that can be 115%. And then we're going to do 1 minute, even harder than that, or 120% of your FTP. And then we're going to get a longer chunk of rest there. And we'll run through that twice. Okay?
I'll leave now then. I'll see you guys later.
Jazzy,
Yeah.
there's a chance my iPad may run out of batteries here. Hopefully not,
Okay.
but if it does, I'll dial back in on my phone.
Okay, sounds good. I'll watch for you if you disappear.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job. That's a better excuse, Chris. It's better.
It should happen right around the hard part.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna roll here in 10 seconds. Let's have a good set today, everybody. We're gonna go in 5, 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So settle in here, 3 minutes. Everybody looks like they know what they're doing, but if you are confused about how hard this should be, speak up. Everybody looks pretty good though. That's a minute. Great job. Great job. That's halfway. Remember when we're doing these to check in with where you're holding tension. And if it's in a place where you don't need it, relax. So if you're squeezing the handlebars too tight, you don't need tension there. If your face is all contorted, you don't need tension there. Relax everything that doesn't need tension. Awesome job, everybody. Awesome job. So 40 seconds left here. $20 to go. Very good. Very good. Ten seconds. Let's go. Let's go. And take a break. Awesome. 3 minutes, nice and easy. Very good. Very good. Joanne, I said it before. I'll say it again. Your pedal stroke is just so smooth, hey? Just like, it's really nice. It's a great rhythm to it. Your upper body's really quiet. It's very good. Anybody else planting a garden through all this stuff? Yeah, Lindsay. Yeah, Michelle. I think it's funny when we kind of got into this thing, like I did the same thing. My reaction was to default to probably what we did 100 years ago, just in case. I'm like, gotta start growing my own food. And then like everybody buys flour. All of a sudden, like everybody's baking stuff and, you know, yeah.
I got an email on Tuesday that our office is closed until October 1st.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you do for work, Michelle?
I actually work for the BC Medical Association. So Doctors of BC. Yeah, and we closed our office when Trudeau said go home. And apparently now we will stay home until October 1st. So.
Wow, that's
And-
yeah.
Yeah. Has it been like okay for you working from home?
It's been okay. So I work in like finance and benefits, and we were entirely paper-based, which I know sounds crazy.
Yeah.
So it was like, along with stress of everything, and it was year end, we also had to shift like overnight to a digital system, which is going okay actually. We're finding a lot of our inefficiencies and correcting those, which is nice. It's just, yeah, my house is small. My apartment is like 400 square feet. I have 3 bikes, and I work every day at my kitchen table.
Yeah.
It's a small space.
Yeah.
But thankful
5
to have
seconds. Sorry, keep talking. Keep talking.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready?
I'm thankful to have a job.
Here we go. Sorry, Michelle. You can keep talking. You'll have about 20 seconds here before you're out of breath.
Yes.
Same effort level, Jazzy?
Nope. 5% higher.
Oh.
Yeah. So 115% of your FTP, or if you're on perceived effort, from 85 to 90. So this should be over threshold. So this should be like unsustainable. Awesome job. Awesome job. Really push here. 1 minute to go. Great job, everybody. Come on now. Keep going. Keep going. 30 seconds to go here. Hang in there. Come on now. 20 seconds. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Right through, right through. Come on. And good. Good job. Good job. Awesome. Michelle, sorry to cut you short there. When you catch your breath, keep going. So basically you're in a small place with 3 bikes working from your kitchen table till October. Yeah. I don't know, like I kind of feel like there may be a lot of businesses that shift how they actually operate.
Yeah.
Like remote will become maybe the new normal for a lot of them. I'm not saying that with yours, but I just, there's probably a lot of offices that are like, oh, we're doing pretty good without an office, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just a guess.
A lot of opportunity to work remotely. But
Mm-hmm.
like, we've been seeing this trend towards remote work for the last few years. And I think probably in like 2 years' time, once there's a vaccine and all that, I feel like it might actually swing back the other way, where people will miss that human interaction and
Yeah.
want to go back to like the water cooler culture.
Yeah.
Where there's gathering and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
all comes around.
Yep. Okay, 20 seconds. So this is 1 minute here. And I've put 95% perceived effort. So this is not a sprint, but this is certainly not easy. And you can be 120% or higher on your FTP percentage. And then we get a really long rest at the end of it. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Big effort here. Big effort. Let's go. Let's go. Really push, push, push. Come on now. Let's go. Let's go. 30 seconds. Come on. $20 seconds to go here. Let's go. Let's go. Big rest coming after this, everybody. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. And good. Very good. Very good. You guys got 4 minutes easy here. 4 minutes. That was awesome. Well done. Well done. Very good. Very good. I'm sure everybody's got a Netflix show or two. We're watching this one with the kids, actually. It's been really fun, called Extraordinary Homes. I don't know if anybody's seen that one. But it's these two British people. One's an actress and one's an architect, and they go around and look at just cool homes. They're not necessarily huge, mansions. Some of them are quite small, but just really unique builds, and it's been kind of fun. There's some really cool places, and they go everywhere: New Zealand, Spain, Canada. They go all over the place and just look for these really kind of quirky built or amazingly built spaces. It's been pretty neat.
Have you seen the airplane one yet?
Yes, and actually I've seen that house for real.
Oh, really?
That's on the road network when we're in Los Angeles and we do our camp there.
Okay.
That's up a road called Deer Creek. Now, we don't do that climb at the camp, but I've trained there tons, and I've ridden by that house, and you can see it kind of from a distance. And yeah, it's crazy. Hey, isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just neat, like the creativity of the people that design those places. It's
totally.
next level.
Yes, like architecture, I'm sure for the most part is pretty linear. Like you got to just build something that's cost effective and whatever. But when they have sort of free reign to do something really unique, it's pretty extraordinary what they come up with. So you've obviously watched that show a little bit too, hey?
Yeah, we haven't watched all of it, but a handful of episodes.
Yeah. So for those who haven't seen it, we got 2 minutes till we go, by the way, and we're just looping back around. We're gonna do the same set. There's a house it's basically in Malibu, up in the hills, that was built out of an old 747, and so the roof is like the wing, but it's like there's multiple parts to this thing, and it's pretty extraordinary. And the part I found amazing is they actually had to clear it with a whole bunch of government agencies, because from the sky it potentially looks like a plane that's crashed, and they didn't want people like airlines reporting that they'd seen a downed plane. And getting the wing up there, it's up in the hills, so they couldn't put it on a truck and drive it up. They had to get like a military helicopter, like a massive helicopter, to fly it in. But because it's a wing, like it's very susceptible to wind. And they basically said, when we're bringing this up, if this thing starts to catch air and we can't control the helicopter, we're just dropping it like in the hills, and too bad. So anyway, it's kind of cool. Okay, 30 seconds. So we're back at 3 minutes here. 85% perceived effort, so right at threshold, maybe a little bit higher. or 110% of your functional threshold power. If my language is confusing you, I can explain it later because I'm saying threshold a lot and they mean sometimes different things, but I think most people know what we're talking about. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Round 2, 3 minutes, settle in. That's it, Andy. Relax, buddy. Relax your face. And your hands. Nice job. Very good. Very good. Keep going here. We're coming up on halfway. That's half. 90 seconds to go. Awesome job, everybody. Very good. Very good. Keep going. One minute to go. Thirty seconds here. Great job, Michelle. Good rhythm, good rhythm. Nice job, Dan. You look super solid, buddy. Good discipline. 10 seconds. That's it, Lindsay. Right through, right through. And good. Nice job. Lots of rest here. Way to go. Very good, very good. I really have been like super impressed with like the commitment of you guys. It's awesome. Just like regular guarantee. It's great.
It gets me out of bed and
Yeah.
and going in the morning. Otherwise, my day would just be
Good.
way less productive.
Yeah, good.
I'm not a morning person,
Yeah.
but my sister is in Florida, but she works for Cirque du Soleil. So when she got laid off, she was in Glasgow, but she couldn't get back to the States because the borders were closed. So she's been with her parents for 2 months in Kelowna, and then came through town and stayed with me for a couple days. And so I had to get up at 4 and drive her to the airport. So that's why I'm awake.
Well, that's this morning. This
Yeah.
morning. Oh,
So it's like lunchtime for me.
yeah.
I'm gonna have some lunch after this.
Yeah. So Michelle, working from home, do you find you're more productive, less productive, about the same?
I have days.
Yeah.
Like some days I'll just get everything done.
Yeah.
Then other days I'm like, I'll do 3 loads of laundry and bake and clean my house and like check my emails twice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think everyone is kind of struggling in general. Like, I'm trying to have like really open, honest conversations with my friends and check in when I don't hear from people in a few days. And,
Yeah.
you know, and we'll have good days and bad days. Like one day I had this long run and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Ended up walking 7 kilometers home and crying the whole time.
Ah.
And it's like those days happen, and then like 2 days later I was fine and I went out and crushed like a long ride. So
Yeah.
it's
definitely a bit of a roller coaster.
yeah, super up and down.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go here in 10 seconds. This is 2 minutes, a little bit harder than the last one. In 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Nice job, nice job. That's it, Chris. Good job, buddy. Lindsay, you're just like your mom, super disciplined. It's good. You guys have got less than a minute here. Keep going, keep going. Do your best to hold whatever position you're in, especially if you're in time trial position. 30 seconds to go. Keep going here, 20 seconds. 10 seconds, come on now. Right to the finish, come on. And good, very good, very good. Awesome. Nice job, everybody. One more. One more.
Like
One of the, what's that, Michelle?
one more set or just that one last minute?
No, one more 1 minute. Yeah, we're gonna do some high RPM stuff at the end, but this is the last interval coming up here. One of the things that's really important, when you start working on hanging on to that time trial position, if you're in that position, especially indoors, is just to try and be really disciplined with holding that position. Sometimes it's not always comfortable, especially if you haven't been in that position in a while. But just being really disciplined. And if you find that you're shifting around a lot, or it's just not quite right, the position may not actually be dialed in good enough. Sometimes indoors it's tricky, right? Because the bike doesn't really move. Outdoors I think we shift a little bit more, and we give our body some space to move, but the inside's very fixed. But the better you can get at holding on to that position, especially in shorter races, and ultimately the faster you'll go. It's every time we break that position, we slow down. All right, 10 seconds, a little over 10 seconds. Last big push here. In 5, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Big effort here. Big effort. Let's go. Let's go. Put all the energy into the legs here. Halfway. Come on now. Let's go. Keep pushing here. 15 seconds. Finish it up. 5 seconds. Come on now. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Done. Awesome. Very good. Very good. Keep your legs moving. Hey, keep your legs moving. Yeah, don't stop. When we clear lactic acid from our system, you'll clear it more quickly if you keep moving. You won't clear it as quickly if you just stop. That was awesome, everybody. Really, really good. Really, really good. Excellent. So we're going to go nice and easy here for another 3 and a bit minutes. And then we're just going to finish up today with some high RPM stuff. So this isn't like, it's 10 seconds. It's over in a flash with tons of rest, 50 seconds rest. So basically on a minute. We're going to do 5 of those.
Last year I raced bikes.
Yes.
And so one of my friends does like these spin classes. They're really good, but they're like more for racing.
Mm-hmm.
So I still do them because they're fun and super hard. But it's like she'll put in 6-second sprints at the end, which have to be like 250 your FTP.
Yeah.
Like all out, balls to wall.
Yeah.
She expects you to start gearing like 5 to 10 seconds ahead.
Yes.
The interval, you're already like pushing 400 watts, and then you're like, go harder.
Yeah, those are tough. Those are tough. One of the toughest tests we used to have to do, I don't know if anybody else has done this, was called a Wingate test.
Oh, yeah.
Has anybody ever done one of those?
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's crazy.
Yeah, hockey players, actually. They probably do that with the hockey players, eh?
Yeah, every September.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but they used to.
Yeah. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically usually 30 seconds, and it's all out. And in the old days, they used to have these kind of old school stationary bikes that were built like a tank, because, if you have a 250-pound hockey player on there, you have to have something that they're not going to break. And so this Wingate is like as hard as you can go. And the way they used to do it is the tension on the wheel of the bike was actually like the same thing like in a weight room if you were to put like a plate on something for weight. And so these bikes had that setup, and you would add weight to it to put the tension on the wheel. And they usually did it weight based. So they would say, if you're 150 pounds, then this is the weight we're going to put on this thing. It was a calculation. And, just so it was relatively hard for everybody. And basically, they would hold the weight over this thing. You'd start pedaling, and they just drop it. And you have to pedal as hard as you can for 30 seconds. And you get 10 seconds into this thing, and it feels like you're like, how am I going to do 20 more? This is insane. And the goal is that you start very high and then you literally crash. I mean, you can't sustain it. So in the last 5 seconds of these things, I mean, a lot of times they're just barely turning it over. It's awful. Anyway, if you ever get a chance, you should try it.
Super fun.
Right. Super type 2 fun.
You ever seen the beep test, Debbie?
Oh yeah, I've done the beep test many times. That was my like, you know, I was
You'd be good at that.
test.
Yeah.
I keep going and going and going, and we used to have to do. Oh, I missed our cue here. We'll start in 30 seconds, okay? We used to have to do fitness testing for tennis, and it was all kinds of, you know, mixed bag of stuff. It was back in the old days when they used to make us do sit-ups, just straight up old school sit-ups on the pavement. And I would go for like 45 minutes and my back would be covered in blood and it was awful. But I was better at that than tennis. Yay. We're going to roll here. I'll give you another 10 seconds. So pick a gear. This is 10 seconds, like fast RPM. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. High RPM. High, high, high. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go here. And good. Good. Nice and easy here. Keep the legs moving. So I have these hats. I'm down in my office, and all these hats still have a tag. And I try and hide the tag, but usually I get down here, and I sort of like, you know, I have a bit of bedhead. And I'm like, oh, God, I look terrible. So I always have to grab a hat, but they're new. And I don't want to take the tag off in case I have to send it to somebody. I try and hide the tag.
I thought you were just like promoting all the different models of hats.
Yeah.
Be 78
Okay.
hats.
10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Here we go. Let's go. Let's go. And stop. Good. Yeah, no, I'm not promoting. It's just like I store them up in this cupboard, and so I just quickly usually grab one. They're old. Like this is from our LA camp, and we always have like a couple leftovers. And anyway, I was saying Lindsay, well, Chris was too on the podcast we started, and I have a backdrop where I have some books, and I usually put like physiology books so I look smart. And I was like, it's kind of boring. So I've started inserting like weird books just to see if people pick up on it. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Number 3. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. You got a bonus 2 seconds there. Nice job. Nice job. 2 more. Anyway, so I have this stack of books, and these podcasts we record and put them on YouTube as well, so you can actually see. And I insert like Cat in the Hat and all kinds of
Obstacles away.
whatever I can find. Right now I have, build an A team, the audacity of hope. I don't even know where I got that from. Yeah, anyway, kind of fun. 10 seconds, 2 more. 5, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's go. And stop. Awesome job. 1 more, and then we'll spin easy to the finish.
Jasper, have you read any of the David Goggins book yet?
I haven't yet. I'm looking forward to it, though. That's a book Dan lent me. It's about this guy became quite famous from a book called Living with a Seal. Have you guys read Living with a Seal? He's a Navy SEAL. Anyway, he's probably one of the toughest human beings on the planet. I'll tell you about it in the warm-up, in the warm-down. 10 seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Let's go. Last one. Let's go. Let's go. And stop. Awesome. Good, good, good. Keep the legs moving here. We've got about 4.5 minutes to the hour, but definitely take all the time you need. Chris, if you're going to ride longer, just like I always say, like the work's done, but just steady riding, good rhythm if you're going to do something a bit longer, okay? Anyway, this David Goggins guy, he's there's a book called Living with a Seal, and it's written by this guy named Jesse Itzler. He's a real character. He's actually married to the woman who started Spanx, and he himself started like this private jet sharing company, maybe even NetJets, I don't know. Anyway, he's a character, and if you can get the audio version, it's great because when he reads it, you can hear the humor in his voice, like he's pretty funny. Anyway, he went to this race, I think it was called Last Man Standing, which is a race in the States where you run 4 miles and you have to start another 4 miles every hour. So they don't care how fast you do the 4 miles. You just have to start a new 4 miles every hour. So you can run them fast and get lots of rest. You can run them slow and get very little rest. And it's basically just whoever's left at the end. And this guy went with some buddies in a big camper van, and they did it as a team relay. So they would run one and then get like 5 or 6 hours off and then do it again. And they had all the gear, and they had a fancy camper van and good food and all that stuff. And he said this guy was sitting beside them in a lawn chair with like a package of saltine crackers and did the whole thing himself and lasted like 48 hours or some I don't know, I'm making that up, but some crazy amount of time. He's like, who is this guy? I need to meet this guy. Like, he's the toughest guy I've ever seen. Anyway, so he tracked him down, and turns out he's a Navy SEAL. And he convinced the guy to come and live with him for a month in his like penthouse in New York or wherever he lives. And the guy's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he's like, no, please come teach me how you got so tough. So this Living with a SEAL book is basically the month this guy spends with them, and all that. He's like, I'll do it, but you have to do everything I tell you to do. Like everything, absolutely everything. You know, if I tell you to do 50 push-ups, you have to do 50 push-ups. So it's about that story, and it's funny, and you're like, oh wow, it's crazy. And yeah.
Jazzy,
Yeah.
was the Navy SEAL guy by any chance, was his name Don Man?
No, David Goggins is his name.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, he now has a book. That's the long way of telling you that he has his own book that Dan's just lent me that I think's more about his life story. Is that right, Dan?
Yeah, it's a lot of his like life story, but then also his time with the SEALs and like his mindset, and like it's super interesting.
Yeah.
We had a
Definitely
Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
We had a Navy SEAL come and do an inspirational talk, I guess you could say, to a team several years back now. His name was Don Man, and he used to do extreme racing, like crazy distance racing. After completing his time as a SEAL, because he had all this mental training and all this kind of stuff, he was crazy. The amount of stuff he's done. That's why I thought it might be the same guy.
Yeah, no, different guy, but you probably similar sort of messages.
Yeah.
I just realized for that whole time, was I not sharing my screen?
That makes his bed every day.
Yeah, no, you weren't sharing your screen, but I have everyone on gallery view, and
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Sorry. I just went to unshare my screen so that we can I can see everybody on gallery again. And I'm like, I don't think I was sharing my screen. Sorry. We got through it anyway.
Yeah.
We're good.
It
Sorry.
was pretty straightforward. We weren't lost.
Okay, good. Andy, I think Andy was saying something, but he's frozen right now. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Andy, what were you saying? Sorry, buddy.
Is Goggin, I think he's the guy that one of the things he said in his book is every morning he gets up and makes his bed.
yeah, I think you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's every day, just like discipline says, makes him feel good. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was a guy.
So I make my bed every day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
100%.
That's good. I do
But
probably most days.
Weird about it. I'm super weird about it, even if I'm like at a hotel or like I've traveled a lot, so like staying in hostels, I'll always make my bed. Even if I'm
My
like
mom does that too.
I'm checking out, I'm like, I have to make my bed.
She makes your bed?
Not my bed. She makes hotel beds. When we're leaving the hotel, like tucks it all neat.
I just tidy it.
So that I paid $10 to sleep here for a night in God knows what country. We just pull those covers up.
Yeah. I like getting into a made bed. Like I like that. I don't know why. I just like, and I like how tidy it looks. I will admit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the dishes, make your bed.
What's that?
Do the dishes, make your bed.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. Yeah, good habits. Anyway, this has been great, everybody.
Awesome.
So tomorrow we have Jeremy coming in.
What time?
It's 8:00. It's a little bit later. Again, they're all recorded, so if you miss it, eventually it'll end up on YouTube. It's going to be pretty useful tomorrow. It's just bike maintenance stuff, but not high level, like stuff that we can all do, like useful stuff. I mean, there's a certain level where I just take my bike to the shop because I don't want to mess it up. But he's going to give us some easy things that will make your bike faster and function better. And then next week, we will keep the swim alternative sessions going for another week at least, because I think not everybody's having access to open water yet. I know some people are, so that's getting easier, but we're going to keep that rolling. The bike sessions, we're going to pull the plug on those only because I think most people can be getting outside, but we're also happy to keep them going. Like our goal with these really was just to keep you guys supported and engaged through what's a real wacky time. And so if you're like, oh no, these bike sessions are amazing, like I want to keep going, then we'll do it. It's like zero issue. It's easy. But we're also like, well, at some point we should phase them out because people are going to be getting outside anyway. So that's the tentative plan. And you can definitely reach out to me on text or email if you feel strongly otherwise. We just want to make sure you guys feel like good and supported through everything. So that's the plan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
It's
Jasper.
been great. Hey, this has been such a great platform for me to talk. It has been lots of fun. I love that we've had a regular crew. It's been really good.
It's the only consistent thing I have.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's been awesome. Yeah.
It's fun. Your stories make the time go faster.
Oh, good. Okay.
Probably embedded subconscious because we're like working so hard and you're kind of telling us these stories and they're probably a lot back here.
That's good. I should have written a list of, there's lots of crazy ones. I have some crazy race stories that are pretty funny. Mostly about mistakes I made way back. And just how different it was. Like we used to drive around for years. I drove around in a Volkswagen Westphalia van, and that was when Jude and I were first dating, and we would drive like everywhere. I'd sleep in the van, get up and race. And back then, I mean, I would pay $600 for 4 months of rent in Guelph in the summers. Like I just sublet from somebody who was trying to hang on to their place for the year. They didn't want to get rid of it. And so they charge you like $150 a month. So for 4 months, my rent would be $600 in Guelph. And I'd go to a race and win like $300 or $500. And I had like no responsibilities, no dependents, nothing. I felt like a millionaire. Like I'd win $500 and we'd go out to like the nicest restaurant, and even that would cost like $30 for 2 people. It seemed pretty simple. It was pretty good. And that was back when university tuition was $800 a semester. I don't know what it is now, but
way
it
more
was
than that.
$800 a semester. Yeah.
You guys were like the original van life.
We were. We went everywhere in the van. We wouldn't even go to a campground. We'd just be in the parking lot of the race venue, because usually no one would bat an eyelid because they had all the race support people there.
Right.
So there'd be cars parked there all night from, the security people or whatever. And I'd sleep in that thing, get up and race. And in Ontario, I was on a bit of a tear, so I'd win money every weekend. And the rule was if I won money, we'd go out for dinner. So that was awesome. And in one race, I'd pay all my rent for 4 months. It was a pretty magical time.
That's great.
Yeah. And then we go down. What's that?
So last year I came second in provincial Masters A time trials, and I won $20.
Amazing. That's so great. That's awesome. It's fun to get a little paycheck, eh?
Yeah.
It was
The
great.
race.
I told all my friends that I was a pro bike racer because I won money. So
Perfect.
There's a local race here in Invermere, and if you win, you get $500, and if you break the course record, you get another $500.
Did you do that?
I didn't break the record, but I've won it a few times. So.
Awesome.
Man, that would pay for rent for what, 6 months for you?
Totally. Yeah.
But it's changed hands. It used to be owned and run by this old crazy guy, Bruce, but he sold it to the people that run Ironman Calgary now.
Oh, okay.
Can't remember what they're called.
Yeah.
It's not Dynamic. Somebody.
like
Because I
or what's his wife's ex-wife? Ex-wife? The people who run Dynamic?
don't know. I can't remember, but it's a company from Calgary.
Yeah.
Multisport Canada? No?
No. It's.
Bye, Dan.
See you, Dan.
See you, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for the workout. Awesome.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming, Andy.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone's leaving, so I guess we gotta go.
I'm going to
Let's
stay
get on
here.
with my day.
I'm going to stay and just talk to myself.
Aw.
See you
I
guys.
gotta go back to the cottage today.
Oh,
darn.
Darn.
Is it warmer there?
I think so. Was texting with them last night, and it was warming up. Dad sent pictures this morning. A deer walked through, where Griff, the neighbor's path comes, right through there on the side where the horseshoe pits are. He had pictures of it, right beside the cottage.
Neat.
Yeah, they went fishing yesterday. He said he got 1 bite, but didn't catch any fish.
Oh.
I'm gonna take my road bike back with me, and hopefully I can get out and ride this weekend, but the roads are really sandy. They haven't
Oh
cleaned all that well, so hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think I had this bike up with me with the trainer, but I'm just gonna leave it home.
Good.
So, just like a year ago, guys, we were in Whistler.
Oh, that's
I know.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Someday we'll be back.
we will. We absolutely will.
You will.
Well, if I sign up for St. George, I'm coming out to Victoria to train for the whole winter. So,
Amazing.
if I can get there.
Yeah.
You can drive.
Yeah, I might have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a lot of stuff I want to bring, so we'll see.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
See
Thanks,
ya.
guys.
Have a
Enjoy
good
you guys.
day. Thanks,
See you
Jasper.
tomorrow.
Take care.
Thanks, you guys. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for coming. Thanks, everybody.
My pleasure. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.